actually triggered them off in the first place. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another little coroutine. Now, after we've created this explosion and got rid of it and spawned a new bird, let's start a new coroutine, which I will call clear booms. Why not? Okay. Now, clear booms will be down here. And what that's going to be is another I enumerator. There we go, clear booms. And what this I enumerator's job is to do is to loop through all the different game objects and remove them from the group in the hierarchy. So we need to yield first and then return a new wait for seconds. Now that animation is about 1.5 seconds long, so I'm just going to set it to 1.5f, and then after the explosion has happened, we're now going to do something called a for each loop, and that will loop through, and for each one it finds, it will perform some kind of action. So the first thing what we need to do is find all the game objects that are present in the hierarchy over here. So we need a game object, but if you remember from the array earlier, the list that we created, if you use the square brackets, that will actually create a list of game objects. So what we want to do is find all the list of the explosions and remove all the smoke and everything else. So get rid of the full group. So let's call this smoke group, which will be the list of all the different booms that appear in this list. And then I want to loop through them all. Well, we need to get them first, and we're going to find them by using a tag like we did earlier. So earlier on, I made a mistake actually, where I said find game objects with tag and then had to correct it to just find the one object. Well, this time we actually do need to find multiple and assign them into this list array. So let's find all the objects that have been tagged in a certain way. Well, we haven't tagged it yet, but I will tag it as boom in 1 second. And then once we have a list of all those different game objects, then what I want to do is for each one of those game objects, I want to loop through. I want to get the game object, and each individual one I will assign it the temporary name of smoke inside the group of all the smoke list. And then what we're going to do is we're going to destroy that object. So then we will want to destroy the smoke game object. There we go. And close the for loop. So basically, clear boom will have, I've called it clear boom, so there we go, remove that. So when we detect the bird, now we load an explosion, we destroy the bird, we set the spawner running for the new one in 3 seconds, and we clear up to free up all the memory of the particle system that's just been instantiated. So clear boom will call, it will wait 1.5 seconds for the actual particle explosion to finish, and then it will jump into the hierarchy and find all the objects that have been tagged as boom. We will then loop through them, and for each individual one assign it a temporary name from the group found, and then we will destroy that one. So let's say this is a list of 10, it will just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way through, destroying each one individually. So let's save that, go back to our boom prefab and create a new tag. Here we go, which I will just call boom. There we go. Click on boom again, assign the tag, and save the file. That's uppercase B. I'll just double check. Yep, uppercase B. And let's give it another run. So press play, hold up the image target, try and shoot a bird, and missed. There. Okay, Gunsmoke clone. The boom's gone. We need to get rid of the Gunsmoke as well. Try and shoot the bird again. Look. Okay, boom clone and gone. So it's going to appear just down at the bottom here. If I shoot the bird one more time. Bang, boom clone, gone. Perfect. So now we also need the gun flash smoke clone. So let's also do a little coroutine. Let's also do a little for loop to get rid of the gun smoke. In fact, I'll just drop this here. It doesn't need to be a coroutine. I just want to make sure that the gun flash smoke has a tag. Gun smoke, yep, okay. So we can actually cheat. We can copy this and paste it here. And all we have to do is change the names. So let's go after the gun smoke group this time. There we go. And let's call it the smoke. And then change that. And then just double check gun smoke. Okay, let's just make sure we get the tag right. Case sensitive. And give it one more run. And now that should do the TLC to tidy up the hierarchy and make sure that we're not having multiple particle systems running in the background even though they're not used anymore. So here comes a bird. Oh, I missed. But the gun smoke's destroyed. In fact, I can just fire. There we go, gun smoke, and gone. Fire again, gun smoke clone, and gone. Perfect, it's running really well. Let's shoot the bird and try and do a double remove. Bang, clone, gun smoke. Perfect, brilliant guys. That's running exactly how I want it to. Okay, so now what I want to do is create the sound effect for the gunshot when it fires. So let's come into the AR camera, onto the gun, and then I want you to come across to add a component, and we're going to create a gun script, okay? Now, all that's going to do is play a sound effect. So the other component that we need is an audio source adding to the gun so that it can actually play that sound for us. Here we go. So there's an audio source component. Let's go into the audio if I can find it. Assets, sounds. There it is. I think that's the right one. Let's double check. Whoa, that's a bit loud. Sorry guys if you've got the headphones on. And drag that into the clip. We don't want to play on awake. We want to dictate when this fires. Now, really easy script. Let's just double click on the gun script. Here we go. Here's the gun script. So we don't need the update statement. But what we do need is an audio source. There we go, which I will call audio. We don't need the clip because we've already loaded that into the audio source. But what we do need to do is get the component. So audio can equal get the component from the game object that this script is attached to. And I want to get the audio source. If I can spell that correctly. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to create a function which will be a public void called fire sound. Okay, and all the job of fire sound is to do is get the audio and play the attached game object. Now we need to be able to call this gunshot from the raycast when we press the button. So for that to happen, we need to create a public static version of this gun script, like we did earlier, called instance. And then we need to create the awake function again, and just make sure that if instance is null, like so, then I want instance to be this game object, okay? Now that means that the raycast can go through the instance on the gun script and call the fire sound. Now we want that to happen when we're allowed to take a shot. Regardless of if we actually hit a bird, we still need to fire the gunshot. So let's go into the gun script through the instance and call the fire sound function. So every time we're allowed to take a shot, which is here, then we will play the sound clip to fire the gunshot and then do everything we've already done. So let's give it a quick run and see how that works in the game. So here we go. Here's the image target. And get ready to fire. Let's try and shoot a bird at the same time. Fantastic. Ah, no, I missed. Oy. Oh, now we're getting there, guys. Now we've got some sound in there. We've got some explosions. I'm still terrible at it. But trust me, I'm a Jedi when it's actually built to the mobile phone. So what we're going to do next actually is exactly that. Now that we've got an environment to play with and a few rules, then we're going to, in the next video, build this to an Android device and the following video for an iOS device. So have fun and I'll see you in the next video.